Detectives. HLN, tomorrow night starting at 9 after Nancy Grace Mysteries.
Well, congressional leaders say the election was a mandate to find compromise and avoid the so-called fiscal cliff. But they can't seem to agree on how to do it. Do they raise taxes or not? Republicans say higher taxes, that's going to hurt the economy. Democrats say higher taxes, that's the only fair way to tackle this debt. So let's see what our money expert, Clark Howard, has to say, and he said this on Evening Express.
Well, I hope they don't kick the can down the road. What I hope happens is that with Wall Street talking so loud today and probably moving forward as well, that it'll create a sense of urgency on the part of the White House and the Congress to cut a real deal with real teeth that will address the current and long-term deficit of the country. If they do that, it will create a new level of business confidence that will make what happened today irrelevant.
All right, that's from Clark. And let's go on with this. Congress has until the end of the year to decide whether or not, again, there's going to be spending cuts, tax hikes, and a lot of people, let's get to that term fiscal cliff. You might be, what is that? It's a nice headline, but bottom line, and we're going to get more specifics, it's basically, it could be near record tax increases for a lot of families out there and also some big spending cuts. So let's get more specifics here. Uri Mann joins us now. He's a business financial analyst, also author of the book, The Secret to Getting Good Jobs in Tough Times. Uri, thanks for being with us. First off, clear up for everybody, what is this fiscal cliff that we're inching toward?
Well, you know, they don't call it a cliff because it's a beautiful thing. We're not talking about the cliffs of beautiful Southern California. What we're talking about is basically the expiration of virtually every tax cut since 2001 and huge amount of spending decreases to the tune of about $110 billion. If this policy goes into effect the way it currently stands, we're talking about really removing about 4% of U.S. GDP. So it is a tremendous emergency that the U.S. government needs to address. Unfortunately, you know, we've elected basically the same inept leaders that have been in power before, and I don't know if they'll come to some sort of agreement that's substantial enough to really address this issue. But the numbers are staggering.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about over $280 billion in terms of the sunsetting of the Bush tax cuts. That's money that would just be removed from the economy.
Okay, let's talk about what it means to families. The number I'm seeing, 80 to 90% of families, for them, their taxes go up. And I've seen a number anywhere from $2,200 to $3,700 a year. That's out of a family's pocket and into taxes. Do you agree with those numbers?
Yeah, with the numbers that I'm looking at, I see about on average, the U.S. family will pay about $3,500 additional dollars in taxes in 2013. Now, remember, that's if they have a job. We currently have, if you look at the U6 unemployment rate, which is the real unemployment rate, we have more than 15% Americans today who are unemployed. And that number is continuing to go up, regardless of the number that's being reported continuously. And we have over 45 million people on food stamps. So this is very bad news. There's no real way to look at this and say, hey, we're going to come out and have a positive situation. Unless we can get Congress and the President to come to some sort of deal that has real teeth, that really affects our long-term and short-term fiscal debt.
And that's what Clark Howard just said as well. Real deal, real teeth for long-term health. What does that look like? As we're watching this unfold, you know, I'm not an expert like you. What am I looking for that tells me, okay, that is a good deal. That is a good compromise for us and for a long time?
Look, in my opinion, there's no way to look at this without some sort of tax increase. In my opinion, we're going to have to find a way to lower corporate taxes and lower income taxes and substitute that with a consumption-based tax like a VAT tax. And at the same time, cut major entitlement programs and really address major structural problems with our economy. These are issues that were not discussed really by either candidate during the election, and the American public seems to still be unaware of some of these major difficulties coming up.
Yeah, and a consumption, so you're talking a sales tax, an additional sales tax in there, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, the way the U.S. Economy has, we have a tax system that punishes savers because we don't really tax consumption the way Europe does. That would be a more effective way if we tax consumption and allow businesses to have lower corporate tax rates and allow people to have lower income tax rates. That would be a more effective way to grow the economy, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, man, thanks again. Again, business financial analyst, author of the book, The Secret of Getting good jobs in tough times. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
All right, how about this? The father of a U.S. soldier killed in Iraq wanted nothing more